everybody. We're all okay? Hi there. I'm just going to wait just to make sure everything's okay. Hopefully we've got people in. I'm just going to see if Ray's going to give us a little message just to see if we're up and running okay. Okay, and we've got Rita in the room with us as well. Okay. Right then, so I think I'm just going to make a start. So for those that don't know me, my name is Louise. Thank you everybody for joining me on here today. It's the first time that I've ever done one of these going out live on YouTube, so please forgive me if it looks kind of a little bit shabby or whatever, but we just need to kind of get it out there and see if we can help people. The class was, oh, hang on. So the class was inspired by my group that I normally take on a Tuesday afternoons. So the class is inspired for those ladies and just to keep them moving, but also for anybody who feels that they just want to kind of do a little bit, just to help ease the body and mind just at this moment in time. Right then, okay. So yeah, just be patient with me. I have a feeling that I might end up looking a little bit Victoria Woodish because it's quite easily for me to do that. But let's get ourselves started. Right, so things that you're going to need for the session. You're going to be needing, it doesn't matter if you don't have a yoga mat, please don't worry about that at all. If you do have any yoga blocks, any yoga equipment, so the ones who are watching me from the group, I know that you'll already have your equipment, so hopefully you've got that with you. If you don't have anything like that, a yoga block is normally used. So obviously if you don't have one of these, just grab yourself a book or something like that and you can use this instead. So this is going to help if we're trying to reach the floor and you can't reach, then we can have the hands there onto the block instead. So it's there as an aid, it's there to help you. You'll also need a belt as well. So a yoga belt, if you don't have one of those, you can use dressing gown cord or something like that. The other thing you're going to need is maybe a blanket for when we're relaxing at the end, or if you wanted it even to just pad out underneath your knees. And a chair. I'm sat on a chair, you're going to need a chair for this session as well. So even if you're kind of just near the sofa, you can use the sofa as well, so that'll be okay. But if you've got like a dining chair or something like that, just a nice easy chair that you can move around, then you can, just use that. Okay, so I think that's everything that we should have. So I'm just going to give you just a few moments just to be able to grab everything that you need, just while I'm here. So if you haven't got them now, just run off and go and get them, and we'll get ourselves sorted. Now, when you are sat on a chair, or even if you sat on the sofa, make sure that ideally your knees want to be the same height as your hips. So got a little bit of your block underneath your feet, so you sat up nice and tall. So we're just going to bring our hands together just to begin with. And we're just going to just close the eyes. Take a few moments. And just to be able just to see how you actually feel. So taking this time out just at this weird time that we're living in. And just to recognize how you actually feel. So when the hands are together, it just brings that balance just of the right and the left side of the body. And then allow the attention just to focus just onto your breathing. Soft, smooth, quiet breath. It's all in and out through the nose. Just take your time with it. So just recognize that breath. Just watch the rhythm. And notice, even just in a short time, that when you pay attention to the breath and when we really allow ourselves just to block everything out, just to focus on that breath, the effects of the body, the effects on the body, how we start then, just allow just the layers just to peel away so we just feel a little bit more at ease. So once we have that, once we've captured that, again, just sitting just with the eyes closed, just bring to mind just one thing which you're grateful for today. Just one thing. One thing, maybe the start of a new day, the sun shining, the birds tweeting, the peace and quiet. Just one thing which is relevant to you, that you're grateful for. And when you have that, just allow it just to take you through your practice. And then if we bring our thumbs up just to the space between the eyes. So this is just to our Ajna chakra, our intuitive center. Again, thinking of that one thing that we're grateful for. And then taking the hands up over the crown. So that one thing we are grateful for is just out there. We recognize that in the world. And then draw the hands back down again towards the heart center. And just releasing the hands down to the knees. Okay, just softly open the eyes. Blink a few times. Okay. So if we bring ourselves just to the front edge of your chair this time, or the front edge of the sofa, I'm going to move mine back so you can see a little bit more of where I'm going. So we're just going to sit right on that front edge. And, oh, my toes are still not quite in it, are they? Right, so I'll move back a little bit more. Hopefully we're in now. That's it. Okay, so place your hand underneath your leg. Bring your leg up. And then just start just to rotate just on one leg. Don't worry which one we start with. And just rolling out. And then over in the opposite direction. And then placing that foot down. Over onto the other side. And again, just rolling out. If you hear any cracking, it'll be from me. And back the other way. Okay, and we can just warm up a little bit around the knees. So give them a nice big rub. And then again, just let the leg just swing, just so we start to get the knees just a little bit more lubricated. Any cracking, again, out of the way. And then onto the other side. Okay, and then again, forward and just roll the legs in and out. So in and out, and in and out, in and out. Okay, now I'm going to sit sideways on just so you can see where I'm going with this. So hands are just onto the legs. Oh, I've got Rita back again. Okay, and we're just going to start just to move right from the small of the back. So we're just easing it forward, easing it back. So we're not really bothered too much just about the top part of the back, just right into the small of the back. So ease forward and ease back. Ease forward and ease back. When we start to kind of feel that the small of the back moves a little bit easier, then we can start to bring in the rest of the spine. Easing forward, easing back. So when we come to doing a cat stretch on our hands and knees a little bit later, if that's not accessible to you, then you can just bring yourself back to the chair. And this will be one of the ways that you can do your cat stretch. So we start to feel that nicely loosening up through the whole of the spine. And then we just come back to upright. Okay, so we can now just bring our attention just into our wrists. So rolling, turning out in the wrists. I'm going to come a little bit nearer for this. You can see, so once we've turned a few times around in one direction, and then turn going back in the opposite direction. Bring the hands together, and just maybe turn the hands over, bring them back over again, and back over. Change the interlock, so the hand with the finger on the top, bring it down, turn the hands over, bring it back, turn the hands over, and bring it back. Okay, and just give the hands a little roll out. So we start to get right into the wrists, and back in the opposite direction, and one hand on top of the other. Get a nice stretch, and we can maybe lift the elbows up with it. So we start to work into the shoulders, into the rest of the arms. That's it. And then just loosen off and give the shoulders a little bit of a roll. So then we can, if I stand sideways on, you can see. So we're just taking the shoulders right up and rolling them back. Rolling them back. And you can start to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Really pulling the shoulder blades in and down. And then maybe taking the shoulders up and bringing them back down again. And back up and back down. And back up and back down. Up and back down. Okay, I'll move my chair in a little bit so we don't need the legs just at the moment. Okay, so if we hold on to the edge of your chair, and we're just going to keep one hand down, take one arm up, bring it right up, make sure both sitting bones are firmly rooted down, the arm reaches up and then comes over to the side. So we feel a nice long stretch out through the side of the body. Bring it back up and over, and then onto the other side. So the arm will lift up, reaching right up, and then going over. And back up again, and back down. So we're just going to do that a few more times, and just keep it moving this time. We start to get all nicely loosened up. The hand comes down, and goes up, and over, and back up, and down. One more time. So we're up, and over, back up, and down. Up, and over, and back up, and down. Okay, I'm going to take a nice little twist round. So if we just bring one hand onto the back of the chair, take the other hand across and press it down into the leg. And then feel that turning from your belly first. So as you exhale, we're turning. And then we're turning into the rib cage, turning into the chest, and looking back, and then bringing it back round. So just keeping it nice and comfortable. So one hand goes back, bring the hand across, press it down into the leg, sit tall, turning. So the belly is turning, the rib cage is turning, the chest is turning, the head is turning. And then we bring it back. Okay. So now for the neck. So we're just going to bring the chin right in towards the chest. So we feel that long stretch just going up the back of the neck. And then bring it back up and looking up towards the ceiling. Just a gentle lift, looking up, and then bring it back down again. We're going to take it over to your right side. So we're turning, looking over that right shoulder and making sure that the left shoulder stays back. Bring it back to the center and then over to the other side. Making sure that the opposite shoulder stays back and then coming back in. Okay, we're going to go again. So bring the chin in towards the chest. Make sure you still feel as if the chest is lifting up towards the chin. Feel the stretch on the back of the neck. Now this time bring your hands, interlock the fingers and just let the hands rest on the back of the head. Let the elbows come down and just Allow the weight just to come in, and you'll feel even more of a stretch along the back of the neck. And then lifting back up and release the hands down. Now bring the hands just onto the top part of the chest. So pressing them down, but lift the chest up into the hands. So we feel that little bit of resistance working between the two. It's a pull of forces. So one's lifting up, one's pushing down, staying stable. And then start to lift the head. So we'll feel a nice long stretch through the throat as we look back. And then bring it forward again. Okay, so if you want to, we'll do that one again. Let me just show you from sideways on. So make sure it's not kind of me really throwing myself back. I've got a lift, and I'm lifting up just away from, lengthening out in the neck and taking and releasing the head back. So feel that nice long stretch. And then back up again. Okay, releasing the hands down. Now if we bring the hands behind your back, interlock your fingers, roll the shoulders back and draw your arms back and down. And maybe lift the arms up a little bit, maybe hook them onto the chair, anywhere on the chair, so they're a little bit higher. Or if you can manage to get right onto the top of the chair. And then you have to come forward just to release them back down. So you're going to bend the elbows and bring one hand over to one side. So the side with the elbows sticking out, we're just going to work into that side. So let the ear come down towards the shoulder. Just closing the eyes, take a few breaths, see how that feels. And then coming back up. So taking the hands over to the other side, so it hooks right round. Keep the elbow out to the side, let the head drop so the ear comes down towards the shoulder. Feel that long stretch again through the sides of the neck. There's lots of tension held everywhere at the moment. Some are holding it in their forehead, some in the shoulders. The tension is going to hit in any weak spots. Nice to release out, and then coming back up again. Bringing the hands back in, and again, just rolling the shoulders. Okay, so let's make our way up to standing now. So we've got our chair, or you can have the wall, or again, kind of like part of the sofa on the arms of the sofa. So a chair is there. Move back so you can see. So I've got my feet in. Okay. So we're going to come up, first of all, just onto our toes. So rock forwards, come up onto your toes, and then back down again. So if you don't need to hold onto the chair, we rock, we come up onto the toes, we hold for a little bit, and then we come back down again. So we're lifting, we're coming up, we're going to press down a little bit more through the big toe. So big toe is going to be there, it's going to help to stabilise. Certainly challenging my bit of balance today. So we're pressing down, and then releasing back down again. So see if we can work that with the arms going up over the head. So we can take the arms up, and we can come right up onto the toes, and then back down. Okay, and coming back up, and back down. And again, so coming up, and back down. Okay, so onto the back of the chair, holding onto it, just start to walk the feet back. Now keep the body nice and soft, so you have somewhere to go with it then. If the body just goes back too fast, it becomes rigid and you can't really go anywhere with it. So if we just ease into it and make sure we're feeling the whole of the stretch down the whole of the back. And just ease the weight over, just going over from one foot to the other. Sliding over one leg and then the other leg. And then once we're there, we can start then just to shift the hips a little bit, going over from side to side. So it not only gives the back a nice stretch out, It's a good stretch out for the hamstrings. Especially if we're spending a little bit of time sitting at the moment, we really need to kind of get up and have a stretch. Okay, from there we can start to walk back in. Now you don't really need the chair for this one as such, but if you want to, you can press into it, lift, feel that lift coming up, and take the top part of the back just to ease back. Feel as if the hips are moving forward. And then lifting up out of it to come back up again. Okay, so one more time. So we're going to go back. So edging back, nice and soft. Just easing over, just maybe one side to the other. Again, feeling that pulling and drawing back. And then we can come back up again. So remember, you don't have to have the chair there if you don't want it. You can always have your hands kind of pushing into the sacrum. So this would be this triangular shaped bone just on the lower part of the back. We can take the thumbs into there if you're not wanting to just use the chair. So we press down, edge the hips slightly forward, keep the chest lifted, get the top part of the back, just rolling back, elbows back, and we look up. So it should never feel strained or constricting. It should always feel as if we can maybe go a little bit further. So never really work right until that very edge. We just want to keep it nice and moving, nice and soft. Okay, so we're just going to move that chair out of the way for a moment. Okay, and we can come just to standing. So feel the shoulders move back. And taking the arms up over the head. And then bringing the hands back down again. Okay, now this time feel as if the feet are really planted down. We feel that pulling up and drawing up on the legs, hips slightly forward, the belly drawing in, the chest lifting. So we feel all nice and corseted around here, and we feel that drawing up and that nice gentle lift. Then take the arms up, and as you raise the arms, feel as if the arms are raising up right from the feet, stretching up towards the ceiling. We can interlock the fingers and turn the hands over, stretching up. Nice full body stretch. And then just exhale as you bring the arms down. Okay, so we'll do it again. So feel the feet planted down, legs are drawing up, hips slightly forward, belly drawing in and up, chest lifting. Okay, arms going out to the side as you inhale, taking the arms up over the head. Interlock the fingers and turning the arms over and taking that lift. So we're inhaling and exhaling, nice soft breaths as we lift. And then release and bringing the arms down. Okay, let's roll the shoulders back. And if we go a little bit wider with the legs and just easing out just from side to side. Just get everything loosened off. And even just work to lift up one leg as we go over to one side. So hopefully everybody's okay. Everyone's doing all right. Weird and wonderful world that we live in with everything that's going on at the moment. And there's a lot to blag your head. So doing a practice like this, a nice daily practice, is just going to help give us some focus. It's just going to keep us, it's going to help keep me sane. Hopefully it'll help keep you sane. Okay, just roll the shoulders back. And then hands again just down by your sides. If we take the feet out just slightly wider, we can just keep the hands down by your sides, but you're just going to let one arm just slide down that little bit further. Other arm can pull up and let that arm just lead up a little bit. And then slowly start to come back up again. And then over to the other side. Let the arm slide down, hands sliding up, and then lifting back up again. Okay, and again, once more over to the side. And then back up. And once more over to the other side. And back up. Okay, again, roll the shoulders. Now if I stand sideways on, I must stay over here so you can see me properly. We're going to just take the feet out just a little distance apart. Now, and those that do know me know that I usually crack a lot. I think we're okay. So we're going to keep our feet down onto the floor. I'm going to take our arms straight out in front with the palms facing down towards the floor. We're going to start to bend our knees. Now we need the tailbone still tucking under and keep the chest lifted up as much as we can. Keep the belly drawing back, nice and strong with it. And then push down through your feet and work it through the thighs just to come back up as you bring the arms down. Again, taking the arms forward and bend the knees, sit back into the heels, keep the chest fairly lifted, keep the tailbone tucking under, a smile on your face, and then press down through the feet and bring it back up as the arms come down. We'll do one more time. So start to raise the arms, so bending the knees, belly drawing back, a smile on the face, and press down through the feet, work it through the thighs, coming up as the arms come down. Okay, just give yourselves a little bit of a shake out from that. I'm going to need this chair again. So on the pose that we've just done, Utkatasana, chair pose, all my lovely ladies from my Tuesday afternoon class know exactly where we'll be going with this one. So the chair is behind us. So the aim is to sit down onto the chair without actually sitting down. So the arms are going to stay forward. I'll show you first. So we're going to take the arms out, almost sitting down onto the chair, but then we come back up again. And we're going to do it 3 times. Okay, so if you need a little practice run, have a little go first. Make sure that the chair is near enough that you're not going to end up on the floor. Okay, and then from there, so if we're ready, so we're going to inhale as we take the arms up. Exhale as we come down. Hold it there, just off the chair. And then inhale, come back up again, arms come down. Okay, and again. So we inhale, arms up. Exhale down into it. Almost touch that chair. Keep the tailbone tucking under, belly drawing back, chest lifted. Smile on the face. And we're back up again. And then one more. So we inhale up. We exhale down. Almost touch the chair, but not. And then inhale as we come back up again. And give the shoulders a little bit of a roll out. And we can give the legs a little bit of a shake. Okay, now you're going to need your chair or the sofa just over onto your right hand side. So as I say, if you haven't got a mat, don't worry about it. You can just have the floor, but just be careful in case you slip. So I have my chair on my right hand side. So I'm going to turn in just with my left foot. I'm going to turn out with the whole of my right leg. I'm going to press the hands down into the hips. So we press down, we lift the chest. We keep that lift, then we're taking the arms out to the side. Exhale as we start just to ease over, right over to that right side. And I'm just going to bring my hand either down onto the chair or I can bring it in front of the leg. And the left arm is going to lift. So we're going to keep pushing back into the left foot. Now it's not a case of how low we go. We can even be up here in this pose. If you're more flexible, then you can maybe come down a little bit further. No worry about being on the chair at all. Focus on strong legs. Keep this hip back. Keep a nice even stretch through the sides of the body. So on this underneath side as well as the top side. Okay, so if we're there with it, we don't want to feel any unnecessary stretch on here. It should be even stretch. So we're holding it here. Looking up if we can, up towards that top thumb. And then press through that left foot as we bring it all the way back up. Turn the foot back in and bringing the hands down. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit more on that right side. So again, we're going to just turn in with the left foot, turning out with the right leg. See if we can just walk it out just a little bit wider. Keep the hips and the chest all facing towards me, keeping the arms out to the sides. Now this time as we push into that left foot, we're going to start to bend the right knee. So when we bend the right knee, we keep it so we've got the knee directly on top of the ankle bone. So it's not back too far, it's not overloading, it's just right on top of the ankle. We stay there, we keep lifted, shoulders over your hips. And then we take a breath in, we hold, and we exhale as we extend over a little bit further. We can either bring the elbow and forearm down onto the chair or onto the leg, and then the left arm is going to come up and over the head. So no worries, even if you need a straight arm pushing into the chair, but ideally you don't want to just be resting down onto it. Let the legs do the work. Keep pushing right back into that left leg, forming that triangle shape right along through the side of the body. And then bringing your arms up and pivot the body, coming back up again, and then all the way up. Turn the feet back in. Take a moment there, take a few breaths. And walking the feet back together. Roll the shoulders back. Stand tall, closing the eyes. And then ready for the other side. So I'm going to take the chair, move it over. Oops. Okay, so we have Trikonasana first of all, our triangle pose. So legs don't have to be quite so wide for this one. Hands pressing down into the hips, taking the arms out to the sides. So we're going to turn in with our right foot turning out with the left leg. Make sure we keep pushing down on that right leg and we keep the hips edging back. We keep the lift and we exhale as we stretch over towards that left-hand side. So remember, we can either have the hand pressing down onto the chair or you can have it in front of the leg, and don't feel as if you need to go all the way down to the floor. So we take the arm up. We're just looking for alignment through the body. So a nice long stretch through both legs. Nice long stretch through the spine, nice even stretch through both sides of the body. So we're looking up. And then push into that right foot. Inhale as you come back up. So we can just bring the hands onto the hips, turn the feet in, take a moment. Okay, maybe we can go a little bit wider. Taking the arms out to the side. Turn in, turn out. Remember, keeping that good strong lift all the way through the body. Start to bend the knee, and we're going to keep that knee, if you remember, right on top of ankle bone. Holding there. And then we can start to extend. So we push back into the right as we extend over. Now either the forearm and the elbow come onto the chair, or you can have that onto your leg for now on this one, and then we take the arm over the head. So remember, if you're here pressing into it and working there, that's perfectly fine. If you wanted to come a little bit lower, just onto the elbow for now. So we keep that stretch up. Make sure we feel that diagonal line of energy moving right from the back foot right up towards the fingers. And then when we come out of it, bringing the hand over, push into the right foot as you come up, and then all the way up. Turning back in. And then we can start just to maybe heel toe the feet back together and coming back in. Let's roll the shoulders back. Okay, so I'm going to turn my chair around now. And we're going to go back into that back stretch again. So I'm going to have my hand onto the seat of the chair this time. I'm going to start to walk my legs back. So again, we're finding we've got that tabletop position. And we can just ease out a little bit in the hips. just edging over from side to side. And then drawing back. So if we can, ideally, ears are in line with the arms. And from here, we just loosen it off a little bit, and we can bring our right leg forward. So we can take the left leg back a little bit more, keeping that heel down. Keep your hips facing towards your chair. She's fallen out with me. She's got her bum in my face now. Okay, so we're going to bend that front knee. We can press down into the chair. And we feel the stretch going through the back leg. And bring it back down again. Pivot on the back foot, take the leg back, and swapping over. We'll bring it down. We're going to bend that front leg. So we feel a long stretch through that back leg. We don't have to go too far with it, just keep it comfortable. Feeling just a gentle stretch. So remember, this is just a gentle session, just to keep you moving, just to ease your body and mind. Again, just pivot on that back foot, take the leg back, little easing over just from side to side. And then we can walk back in. Okay, again, just easing out a little bit from side to side. Okay, so we're going to come down onto the floor now. Just move Rita out of the way. Okay, so down onto the floor. So if we bring ourselves just onto our fronts, and your hands are going to be just up further than the top of your head, just slightly further up, but a little bit wider than your shoulders. The legs are stretching back, and the tops of my feet are pressing into the floor. Again, especially the big toe. Press that big toe into the floor. My forehead is down. I feel a nice long stretch going through the whole of the body. Keeping the tailbone tucked under. So we keep this bit pushing down towards the floor. Now from here, we're going to take a big deep breath in. And as we breathe out, we're using the muscles in the spine just to lift the top part of the back just away from, or lifting up. So we're lifting the chest up away from the floor. Not really pressing into the hands. So we need to keep those lifted. We're working the muscles in the spine. And then just releasing back down, turn your head to one side. And then again, so we're just looking down, inhale, exhale as we start to lift. So remember, hands aren't actually touching or pressing into the floor to keep us lifted, just the muscles in the spine, top part of the spine are working to lift us up. And then releasing back down again, turning the head to the opposite side this time. Now we're going to work twice more. So I'm going to bring the hands a little bit lower, but if up here felt enough for your back, do this one again. So if you feel okay with it, hands can come level with your face. So we take a big deep breath in, and as we breathe out, we lift up. Again, not really pressing into the hands, so they're more just really as stabilizers. And then back down again. Turn the head to one side. If that felt okay, you can bring the hands that little bit lower this time. Now the hands will come into play this time, and you can bring them in a little bit closer. So head is down, we inhale, and as we exhale, we get more of the lift through the muscles, and then we can ease down with the hands just to see how far up we can come. If it feels comfortable, then that's fine. Keep the tailbone pushing down, keep the shoulder blades resting down. And then releasing down. So we can turn again the head just to the opposite side and have the hands just release down by your sides. I'll turn my head back around this way just so I feel that I'm with you all. So once the body feels relaxed, you're going to bring yourself onto your hands and knees. So we come back, hands and knees onto here. So if you're not able to get onto your hands and knees, you can either come up and do this with the chair. So you'll be pressing into the edges of the chair. And again, we'll be working that gentle cat stretch. And we'll also be doing a twist. So we'll be taking the arms through, which I'll explain more at the time when we do them. So if you're not able to kneel, then use your chair. Or by all means, if you feel it's too much kind of getting up and coming back down again, just stay on the floor until you can join us on something that you can do. Okay, so we're onto hands and knees. So we want the wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath your hips. So draw back a little bit through your belly, keeping the spine nice and stable. And again, start that gentle cat stretch. So feel the movement come first of all right from the small of the back and then up between the shoulder blades and then releasing back down. And coming up from the small of the back between the shoulder blades and then the head dips in and then it releases down. So on that releasing down, making sure that we're holding back just a little bit through the belly. So we're not just kind of allowing everything to hang. The chest starts to move forward and the head starts to lift as we get more range of movement going through the spine. Okay, so we just got one more here. When we come up into an arched spine, and just come back just into that tabletop position. Okay, from here, we're just going to take our right arm. I'm going to just demonstrate first of all, just showing you with my left. So that hand will come through, palm facing up, and we slide that hand along the floor as we bring the back of the shoulder down to the floor. And then it comes back up again. And then we'll swap and we do the other side. Okay, so we've just got a couple each side. So we're going to start with the right. So we're going to let that come along. It's going to slide. So the shoulder comes down. And then we push to bring it back up again. And then we're on to the left. So the left arm comes through. Now, obviously, if you are on the chair, you're not going to get your shoulder down to the floor. So I'm just thinking of Rita there, who will be doing this along with us. So don't worry, Rita, just take your arm through and just reach it through, okay? So for the others, you're going through. And it's also as well for maybe Judy, if she's watching, if she's not on her hands and knees. So we're just through. This is our last one. And then we come back up. Okay. So from here, we're just going to bring our knees in a little bit closer together. We can take our right leg back, toes pressing down onto the floor. You're perfectly fine still just doing this on the chair. You just won't involve the arms in the next movement, just work the legs. Okay, so from here, keep the heel pushing away, keep the hips level, and then slowly start to lift that leg. Now, you're not wanting to lift it where the hips are going up too high, so just keep the hips facing down to the floor. Push away and lift up away from the shoulders, stabilizing at the belly. If you feel okay with it, you can then take the opposite arm straight out in front. So focus maybe either a spot on the floor, if that's your thing, if you need kind of a drishti point, or you can either, so just bring that leg in for a moment, or if it feels more comfortable, just be aware of how the body is dealing with that. Just feel what it's doing, feel how it's moving just to help stabilize. Draw your belly back a little bit more and maybe take the focus to there. A couple of inches just below the navel is our center of gravity. So just taking that focus to there will maybe help. So on the left leg now, so take the leg back, push the heel away, and then lift. Remember, keep the hips facing down towards the floor. Take the Again, find what's happening either in the body or if you're better with a focus point to look at, then that's fine. And then bringing the hand back in and bring the leg back in. Okay, we're going to take the knees wide and sit the bottom back just towards the heels. Take a little stretch forward. And then from there, bring yourselves back up again. So the ones who are still on the floor in this position, you're going to tuck the toes under and then push, just take a little lift up. So for the ones who are on the chair, you can just go back into that straight leg position, just pushing back from the chair, and we can just ease the hips over just from side to side. So in this pose, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, or downward facing dog pose. If the legs still feel a little bit tight, you can always bend and straighten the legs. So bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Maybe wriggle out slightly from side to side. I'm just taking a few breaths. You can maybe come right up onto the toes, keep the chest heading back towards the legs, and then sinking the heels back and down. Don't feel it's massively important to get those heels down. As long as you're feeling it, that's the main thing. Make sure the hands stay firmly pressing down and every finger and thumb is pressing down, not just rolling towards the little finger side. Keep the shoulders nice and spaced out. Give the head a little nod, yes. A little shake, no. And give us a big horse impression. This is just going to help just to kind of release any tension in the face. And come up onto the toes and come down. And then just resting down in child's pose if we can. So head down. If you feel as if your head isn't going to the floor properly, if your bottom is sticking up, take a block underneath your head if that's the case. Hands just go back by your side. Just allow the shoulders just to release. So if you are on the chair, if you're working with that, you can start just to bring yourself down now just towards lying down on your backs. If you need to, just in child's pose, just take a few more breaths. And fully commit to that breath. You're there at the beginning of the inhalation. Watch it all the way through. Recognize the pause at the top of the breath. And then watch the exhalation from beginning to end. Everything in between. Again, recognize it's a slight pause. And then just allowing the breath just to start again. Okay. So if we just take hold just of our blocks when we're going to lie ourselves down. And you'll just need your belt handy. Okay. So if we start just to stretch the legs away. Take hold of your block or your book and place it behind the head. So holding on to that, push away with the heels, stretch away with the arms. Now don't worry if the arms out to the floor, if they're there, that's fine as long as you're feeling it. Notice that rolling back of the shoulder blades as they hit onto the floor as they're rolling back. And then we can bring the arms back over the head. And again, taking the arms back. And this time pointing the toes. So it may feel a little bit more of pull right through the centre of the body. And more into the front body. And then again, push to the heels. And bringing the arms back. Okay, if we take hold of the belt now, or your dressing gown cord, we're just going to wrap that just around onto your right foot. Now, important just to have that really across the ball of the foot, not into the arch of the foot. If it's into the arch of the arch of the foot is more designed to suck upwards. It's a shock absorber and it helps with as moving in the body just to help take the pressure away from the joints and ligaments. So we just need to kind of make sure we have it across the ball of the foot. So if we start to stretch that leg away and we're just holding on to it, we're going to give ourselves just a little bit of play with it, a little bit of play, should I say. So just let the leg kind of hang into that, almost hammocked in it. So it's more important, if the leg is further away and straight, it's more important than having the leg in and bent. So just find kind of where you are to straighten the leg. Feel the stretch along the back of the leg, but then just loosen it slightly. Close your eyes. Take a few breaths. And then after the next exhalation, see if we can just draw that leg in just a little bit more, but keeping the leg straight. And it's more about pushing the leg away rather than pulling the leg in. So the whole time, we want to feel as if that heel is pushing away, just to feel that stretch, not kind of brute force pulling down. So when we have that there, we're just going to let the belt just feed through the hands as we bring the leg all the way down. And just notice there for a moment, just notice how it feels. And then we swap it over. So we're going to have it on the left leg. That leg is up, leg is straight. So remember, we don't want a leg in and bent. Well, we can do, but it's a different pose. It's not the one we're working on. So we're just going to keep the leg as straight as we can. We feel the opening up at the backs of the knees. It's important just for the lymphatic drainage. Lots of lymph nodes in the backs of the knees, so we really need to kind of get them working. So we're stretching away with that leg, we're pushing away through the heel, we're just easing off just ever so slightly. So we can feel a gentle stretch. We don't want to feel as if we're hanging on right at our very edge. Just keep it nice and comfortable. You can even close your eyes, just allow the attention just to be on your breathing. After your next exhalation, aim just to see if the leg will come in just a little way, but keeping that leg straight. And wherever you are with your stretch, even if you're here with it and the leg is straight, that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. We've just got to have that starting point. And we just keep going, we keep building it up. And you find in time that your flexibility will start to increase. But we keep a nice balanced approach with strength and flexibility. So it's not all about just the flexibility. We still need the strength. We need the strength to feel grounded. And we need that more so now. Okay, so just start to let that leg come down. Let go. Take a few breaths. Fully commit to that breath. Okay, so at the bottom of the exhalation, we're just going to bend our knees. So you can bring them in, just one leg in at a time. Take a little rock going over from side to side. And we're back in the center. We can just hug in, squeeze back on the belly, lift the head. You're bringing in the forehead in towards your knees. Make sure it's the core muscles that are working to do that. We're not just kind of, again, brute force. We're squeezing in, holding it there. And then just release the legs down. Let the head come down. Now you can either have blocks underneath the legs. I'll show you. So you can have your blankets and things handy. You can have the blocks just to go underneath the legs, or if you have a bolster, you can rest that there as well. If you have a blanket, I have a nice blanket here. Two lovely sisters have got me. Okay, so we're just going to have that blanket over us, and we're just going to rest the hands just onto the belly. So I'm just going to give you some time now just to be able to get yourselves into a comfortable position. So everything around you that you feel that you'll need. Okay. So from us lying down, it's uncomfortable. So maybe just have a little wriggle out, just so you feel a little bit more at ease. Making any tiny little adjustments that you need to make right now. Even if those adjustments make you 5 or 10% more comfortable than you are now. Just closing your eyes. Allow the attention just to be on your breathing. Soft, smooth, comfortable breath. Take the attention of the breath now into the forehead. So the spot just between the eyes. Just feel that you're inhaling into that spot just in between the eyes. And as you exhale, allow that space to widen so the face feels wide and expressionless. No tension held across the brow. Smooth and relaxed. And even though the eyes are closed, just focus on the eyelids, just to close them again. Just allow the eyes to sink back in the sockets. And then the eyes themselves just turning and looking down towards the heart center. Being aware of the coolness of the breath as you inhale. The warmth of the breath as you exhale. Take the focus of the breath into the cheeks. And as you exhale, just allow that skin on the cheeks just to slip down towards the ears. Notice the space inside the mouth as the lower jaw releases. Feeling the release of tension at the back of the neck, allowing the back of the head to broaden. And each time you exhale now, just allow a softening to come from the top of the head down towards the shoulders. Next inhalation, back to the top of the head, exhaling down to the mid-back. Inhale back to the top of the head, exhale down to the small of the back. Inhale, top of the head, and exhaling down to the small of the back, but down the arms, down both arms simultaneously. Past the elbows, the wrists, into the hands, the fingers and the thumbs. We inhale back to the top of the head and exhale down to the hips. Inhale to the top of the head, exhale down each leg simultaneously, down past the knees, the ankles, the feet and the toes. Inhaling back to the top of the head and exhale back down to the toes. Inhale back to the top of the head and exhale down to the toes. Your next inhalation, you're bringing into your belly. Inhaling and exhaling into the belly. Allow the belly to sink back deeply towards the spine. Staying here a few times. Allowing the belly to sink back deeply towards the spine. And then we bring our attention just into the solar plexus, soft spot just below the rib cage. We inhale into the solar plexus and we exhale, allowing the solar plexus to sink back deeply towards the spine. We inhale into the solar plexus and we exhale, allowing the solar plexus to sink back deeply towards the spine. We inhale into the solar plexus and we exhale, fully committing to that breath, sinking back towards the spine. And then bring the attention to the center of the chest, to our heart center, Anahata chakra. This is our center for love and compassion. And take a few breaths. So we inhale, we take a full breath and we expand the chest. And as we exhale, we just allow exhalation to happen. Allowing it to move back in with ease. Just inhaling and just exhaling. Now here at the heart center, just bring back the thing that's carried you through your practice that you are grateful for today. Hold that dear. And then bring in one more thing. One more thing that you're truly grateful for. And that's truly grateful for on a personal level. What's personal, heartfelt to you? And after your next exhalation, just slowly start just to gently move your fingers and toes. No rush, just keep it nice and calm and relaxed. Every movement smooth. So even as you move your fingers and you move your toes, you're aware of that movement. You know how it feels. Even if you rub the thumbs over the tips of the fingers, just noticing your sensitivity to touch. You may want to swallow a couple of times, just bring back your sense of taste. Opening your ears to the sounds. Gently start to open your eyes. And as you're looking, be aware of how you're looking. Normally when we spend a day rushing and moving around, our eyes are on to the front of the head. We're looking out, staring out, trying to take in everything. Still, hopefully, with the eyes feeling as if they're sunk back into the sockets. And just looking, but really seeing. Start to make a few more movements. So maybe bringing your knees in towards your chest, rocking maybe over a little bit from side to side. And then over the next breath or two, just bringing yourselves up to sitting. So whether you're sat on the floor or whether you've sat back onto a chair, that's fine. Just again, just have yourself sat comfortable. Bringing the hands together. So we find again that balance of right and left side of the body. Think of the things that we're grateful for. We allow that to spill over and carry us through our day. If we take the hands up now, just up over the crown, we can slowly start to draw the hands down past the Ajna chakra, the third eye, our intuitive center, the Vishuddha at the throat, where we speak our truth and listen well. The Anahata chakra, the heart center, our center for love and compassion. Manipura in the solar plexus, giving us our strength, our will, our determination. Svadhisthana chakra and the sacral chakra for our ability to change, which we have had to do. And the Muladhara at the base of the spine for our strength and our stability. So we may have had our foundations rocked just lately. Just know that they can be rebuilt. We can just kind of underpin. We can get it all sorted. And bring the hands just back to the heart center. Again, the center for love and compassion. Just always remember to hold a place there for yourself. So stay well. Namaste. Thank you, everybody who's joined me today, and pass this on to anyone who you feel it may help. And thanks as well from Rita, who joined us today. She likes to come in here because it's quite nice and warm in here. So I'll be doing my classes on here now, so you'll be able to catch me on here. If you don't catch me when it's live streaming time, we will be putting the links up, so you will be able to see them as well on other social media sites and things. So yeah, or if you need me, just get in touch. But okay, thanks for joining and stay well, everybody. Thank you.